What's up, guys? I'm Crystal Lee Naomi, aka Jasmine Borders on Tyler Perry's Sisters. Be sure to subscribe to the Haves and the Have-Nots review for not only reviews on the Haves and the Have-Nots, but also on Sistas. And while you're at it, give your girl a follow on Instagram at Crystal Lee Naomi. And I'll see you every Wednesday at 9, only on BET.
All right, Sistas fans, this will be my final episode review for season 1. The finale, episode 25, The Long Road, which aired on BET last night. Wow. Apparently, Sistas Season 1 is available on BET now and on demand. However, I don't know when it's going to be put on BET Plus because I would love to rewatch some of the episodes. But I want to be honest here. And this wasn't a bad episode. I just want to say that up front. Out of the last 3 episodes, if I remember correctly, we had Home for a Queen. Then last week's, the episode from the 15th entitled A Bad Feeling. And then we had this episode, The Long Road. Honestly, I don't think overall the finale was as good as those other 2 episodes. I'm not saying this episode was bad. Guys, it was not bad. But I don't think this was as good as the previous 2. So that's just my opinion. I'll go through the notes for the episode and then you can let me know what you think in the comment section below. But before moving forward, just to give a shout out to Crystal Lee Naomi. She has another Instagram page promoting her own She Hustler season brand. So make sure you check it out. I'll be sure to link both of those in the comment section below. A link to her personal Instagram and then a link to her She Hustler. Let me go ahead and make sure I say the right name here. But look for that. It's going to be the top comment. I'll pin it to the top. That will be the links for both of her social media. She Hustler Inc. or She Hustler Official. She's at 89 followers. Let's see if we can help her get to at least 500. So guys, follow her on that and her own personal Instagram, which is almost at 7,500 followers. Let's see if we can help her get to 8,000. So do that for Jasmine Borders because she's in the hospital healing. But we start off the episode with Zack coming in to save Karen. He gets stabbed as a result. And some people were asking, wait, why didn't Karen wait until after Zack was stabbed to shoot Bean? It's because they were literally on the floor rolling around. So she wanted to make sure she got a good shot. And she shot Bean like 4 or 5 times. I didn't count, but it was multiple times. And Miss Lisa shows up. That's one of the things I'm kind of like, I don't really know if I like that. Zack popping up randomly. And then Miss Lisa coming out of nowhere. I'm glad they showed up, but it just seemed a bit too coincidental for my taste due to the fact that, number one, okay, Zack going to see Karen after talking with Chris. I believe that was the name of Miss Lisa's boyfriend. That makes sense. Like, hey, I just had a good talk, motivated me, so I wanted to talk with you about it. Okay, I'll accept Zack showing up. But Chris was supposed to come back to Miss Lisa's place, and she was all like, don't keep me waiting too long. So, yeah, I do have some issues with those 2 showing up conveniently at the right time. But lo and behold, Miss Lisa tells Karen to get Zack to the hospital. It's like, call the police. You gotta call the police. And then I love the fact that even though the dude is bleeding out from a nasty stab wound, he's trying to help Karen calm down. But after they leave, it's like, oh shit, you're still alive? So Bean is barely alive. Miss Lisa, is there dealing with that. Like, look, I'll take care of the police and everything. You take Zack to the hospital. All right, so Ben arrives at the police station to help Gary get bail. Andy and him have a brief conversation. Andy's being kind of snippy with him. Okay, why is it that every time a guy asks me for, hey, can I talk to you, they want something? And Ben is concerned because Gary isn't a good guy. He's heard a lot of rumors about Gary. And we're not talking run-of-the-mill like, he did this, that. He's talking about some serious rumors because Ben's demeanor was completely different in the police station than when he met up with Gary and Andy at the waiting room a couple episodes ago. So Sabrina gets an alert on her phone because Andy now has $14,237,000 in their account. So we later find out in the episode that the wire transfer was for $14 million. Calvin gets up, he's sober, he thanks Sabrina for everything, and he's sorry for his behavior. Like, look, I need to be with my dad right now, and then they'll contact each other later. So Sabrina calls Andy, asked about the money. She said, look, I'll talk about it later. I know you're worried. There's just a lot going on right now. He just asked me if I can, hold the money because he's trying to keep it away from his wife's lawyer. Danny calls Sabrina for some money because she needs it. Sees Preston with a girl there at the bar, Freddie P's, and apparently she's drunk and high. Sabrina's like, look, stay where you are. I know how wild you can get. I'll come down there to get you. Reminded me of Esperanza and Natalie going to get Alex in this week's episode of If Loving You Is Wrong. Zack gets patched up. He has stitches. He and Karen have a talk, heart to heart. Long story short, they're not getting back together. Things just aren't right for them right now. Zack just needs to grow up more. Karen it's like feelings are there, but she doesn't see a future with him, or at least how Zack is now. And the police officer shows up, and I'm like, wait, isn't that the same guy that said Gary murdered his wife when it really was an attempted murder? So in any case, he's asking Karen about what happened, about the whole situation with, hey, okay, so there were gunshots at your apartment. What went down? And, well, turns out the guy that you shot. Oh, wait, yeah. We actually were the ones who dealt with the situation at your beauty salon where Fawn shot herself. So basically, he said, like, okay, so how many times did you shoot him? Tell me what happened. So we were there, but there's no body in the apartment. And it's like, wait, what? And I'm like, oh shit, what did Miss Lisa do? Also, side note, I enjoyed live tweeting last night. It was great. So a lot of these things I was tweeting out, cause I'm like, there are so many shocking moments. All right, so Gary's happy to be out. Andy calls him out about getting mad anytime she asked him any kind of questions. He's like, can you cook something for me? Because like, do you want something to eat? I'll stop somewhere. No, I just want a nice meal and to wash, the police station off me. And I'm thinking to myself, well, she has over $14 million in her account. I'm pretty sure stopping off somewhere to get a bite to eat or ordering in wouldn't be a bad option, all things considered. Plus, Andy has had a hell of a day too. I mean, what? She got fired. Pretty much is being railroaded by her own boss and the firm she works with. She has to fight that battle. Then she had to deal with the drama you brought to her front door in regards to shoving your wife over a parking garage, dealing with your attitude along the way, getting into it with her old friend Ben over you. And then the fact that, she found out her reputation has been soiled because Jasmine was sending out flyers to everyone in that police station about, this is the whore that my husband got with after he beat me. So, yeah, she's had a day too, and you want somebody to cook you a meal. Screw you, Gary. Sheesh. So then we go over to Sabrina and Danny at Freddie P. She sees Alonzo and goes off. Pretty much, before calling out Danny for like, look, you're the one that said don't call and text anymore to Preston. So he's there with another person. Whoop-de-freaking do. So she goes off on Alonzo about what happened to Maurice. And Alonzo, throws a drink on her. Turns out Alonzo actually owns the Freddie P's. Did not know that. So basically, Sabrina takes a beer bottle, cracks upside his head. She gets pushed back. Next thing you know, it's an all-out brawl. You have Danny jumping in the fight. You have Preston defending Danny. He was holding his own pretty well against Alonzo despite the size difference. So shout out to Preston for that. After they get kicked out of the bar, Preston talks with Danny, sees if they're okay. Long story short, he calls out Danny because you're the one who said don't call and text you anymore. I had no hidden agendas. I was just doing what you said. I really liked you, but you're the one who pushed me away. And then Danny's like, well, I said don't call or text me as much. But no, he's like, no, you said this. But you said you're also going to teach me. So go ahead, teach me. And you didn't. So, okay, let's go. And then basically a moment where the girl he was with was called out for being a guy. When I don't know, whatever. It was supposed to be a comedic scene in the midst of everything going on. And Sabrina offered to give Preston's abandoned date a ride home. So we go back to Zack and Karen. Aaron shows up. And Zack, for once, I was rooting her. And I'm not just saying this because he saved Karen, but this guy was, I don't know what was in that IV, but he was asking all the right questions that we as a viewing audience was asking. Karen says she feels safer with Aaron despite the fact that, okay, so his crazy ex-wife killed herself in front of you. Then her mom threatened you with a gun, then said that her son will come after you. Next thing you know, the son is in your apartment with a knife and tried to kill you. And I don't even know if he said this exactly, but have to think of it from this perspective. If Karen is safer with Aaron, but at the same time, all of his ex-wife's family is coming after her, I think the worst part is Aaron is never there. He wasn't there when Fawn began stalking Karen at her job, at her apartment. He wasn't there when Fawn came into her beauty salon and then shot herself. He wasn't there when Fawn's mother came in there threatening her with a toy gun. He wasn't there when Bean was there with the knife. That's all I'm saying. And look, Zack might not be able to financially and whatnot support Karen and whatnot, but at the very least, she technically was in danger with him. You know what? When she almost in episode 1, it's like she got herself checked out just in the event that because of Zack's cheating, she could have gotten a disease, a STD. But that was about it. I'm not undermining STDs, but I'm just saying, like, you know, there's a difference between did I catch it or not versus, oh yeah, I have an entire family of crazy people who are trying to kill me. Just saying. So moving on, they go into the hallway. They talk briefly. Turns out Miss Lisa got, put Beans on the back of her motorcycle, dropped his barely alive body off at the funeral home. So basically, Fawn's funeral is going on. Miss Lisa drops Bean's bloody body on the ground and says if he tries any of this shit again, then he's going to have a funeral. Miss Lisa is a G. That's all I'm saying. So basically, Aaron said, Karen said she'll call tomorrow or something like that. And then Miss Lisa calls, her daughter saying that, hey, you don't have to worry about it. I'm going camping for a couple of weeks until things calm down. So again, Miss Lisa's G, but Karen, stomach growling. Forgot to eat today, so I'll fix something later. No DoorDash, I'll fix something like Andy did for Gary. But basically, I'll talk more about Karen later during the ending of the actual breakdown. Okay, so yeah, we're at the next morning. Andy and Gary get up. They say, like, hey, let's go for a drive. So Gary gets a text from someone. He's like, oh no, it's work. So he looks worried. So he goes into the shower. So Andy decides to look over the files that Leslie gave her. She calls Karen, gets a voicemail saying, hey, call me back. Leslie calls her saying that they're coming for you. Don't trust him. And then Andy's acting like it's a damn horror movie. He's like, Leslie, what are you talking about? Who's they? Why are they? And like, well, did you not hear the phone go click? So did Andy like try to call her back? And then was trying to call, but that was a weird scene. And then she goes to the shower. Well, actually, she goes to the bathroom door. The shower is going, but she can overhear Gary saying like, oh, wait, are you sure? Are we doing this now? Okay. So we don't know exactly who he's talking to or why. But then we move forward with Danny and Preston the next morning. Handcuffs. He goes to the bathroom saying that, yeah, you can call and text her again. When he went to the bathroom, I overheard, him using the bathroom. So did Danny, like, damn, that fire hose? Like, yeah, I put your fire out, didn't I? And then we hear the toilet flush, but I don't think I heard Preston wash his hands. Just saying. Then they go at it for round 2. So they're having a good time. Gary and Andy, he's showing her their new house, which looks familiar. Haven't we seen this house in like either Meet the Browns or one of the Boo Madea movies or another Madea film? It looks familiar. But basically, this is 2 hours away from the city. They'll be their new house. I mean, we can fix it up and whatnot. Perfect place to raise kids. Andy's like, no, I'm a city girl. And then we have something that we should have in other Tyler Perry shows, flipping flashbacks. Why not have more of these flashbacks in other shows like Have and Have Nots and If Loving You Is Wrong, when we're having a character in the now remembering something important another character told them from like 2 seasons ago. But in this case, Jasmine told Andy this in the last episode. All about her isolation, controlling, keeping you away from family and friends, making sure he controls where you go, who you talk to, all this kind of stuff. And she doesn't want any of it. So next thing you know, it's like an episode of Cops. We don't see them, but we hear helicopters. We got a bunch of FBI agents showing up. Gary's under arrest. We're talking, what was it? money laundering, mail fraud, attempted mail fraud, pretty much a laundry list of different crimes that Gary has apparently been doing for some time now, wiring money, that kind of stuff, and he's arrested. The feds have been looking at him for months, and we find out that Jasmine isn't his first wife. What the hell? So this was crazy. And then Andy, yeah, okay, so basically you're a lawyer, right? You shouldn't accept that wire transfer because your apartment is gone, all your money is gone, like that. She had $237,000 in her bank account. So that bank transfer was $114 million. So all that money is gone now. And for some strange reason, she doesn't want to talk to the FBI about what's going on. Even though they said, hey, if you want everything back, then you need to tell us what you know. Even though she honestly doesn't know much, but she could at least tell what she knows about Gary and everything. So Andy's screwed. She has nothing. And then the dude just kind of rubbed in. It's like, fine, you're going to have to walk then. How am I going to walk? Can I at least get my phone? I need to make one phone call. Nope, it's government of the property now. So it's, property of the government now. It's like, hope those shoes are comfortable. See, this is the problem with some of these shows. It's like when a character says something that's really funny or downright mean, but then they have to repeat it a couple times, it ruins the effect of the first time you said it. Hope those shoes are comfortable. Like, dude, you see the heels. They're clearly not comfortable. What is she going to do? Number one, I think Leslie's going to be on the way to get her because Leslie, knowing that the feds are after them, and then the fact that she probably has a tracking device on the vehicle, I'm pretty sure she would either be tailing behind Gary and Andy. So I think Leslie's going to be the one to help. But basically, Andy ain't got shit except for the clothes on her back, the shoes on her feet. That's it. Why she didn't decide to talk with the agents makes no sense. There are some people speculating that these FBI agents are frauds, that they're not real. I'm going to be honest here. I know that Jasmine and Morris have been scheming, but I think these people are legit. And not to mention, let's say if Gary has really been operating with a lot of illegal activity, how would Jasmine and Morris not know about it? I don't know. Interesting. But overall, and this was a pretty good episode, but I still think that episodes 23 and 24 were a tad bit better. Look, the last few minutes between Andy and Gary were great, but like I said in many episode reviews before, just because there's one great scene at the end of the episode, that doesn't mean the entire episode is like overall great. This episode wasn't boring, but I feel like there were some weird choices made in terms of the execution. Like again, Miss Lisa popping up at Karen's place, Karen still deciding to be with Aaron, or at least attempt to pursue a relationship with him, makes no damn sense to me at all. Like literally, I'm not saying that her and Zack need to get together. I don't think so. I think he needs to grow up some more and she needs to figure things out for herself. But literally going after a dude whose ex-family is trying to kill you, pretty sure there's a problem with that. So I don't know. Danny, believe it or not, I never thought I'd say this, but Danny is like the most level-headed person. I never thought I'd say that after watching the first few episodes, but she's the one who seems to be in a more stable relationship than anyone else. Sabrina wilded out. I mean, she was the one who lost her cool. Then you had Karen dealing with the whole Aaron situation, and on top of that, you have Andy and the shit she's in. So what a finale. I cannot wait to see what season 2 will bring. But guys, I have some sister videos on tap. Don't think this video is the end. Just to give you a little insight, I'm going to do a video just talking about the season overall, some of my favorite moments, a video about Gary's, criminal activities and what this means for Andy. Karen still trying to pursue her relationship with Aaron, and Sabrina, will she kill Alonzo, and any other videos you can think of. But overall, what would I score this episode? Like I said, there are some contrivances. 7.5 out of 10. I think that's a fair score. I know some people will say that score is too low, but I think it was a pretty good score, pretty decent score for the episode. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen next? You know the drill. Subscribe if you are new. Hit the bell notification icon. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Shout out to the patrons over on Patreon. If you want to join the fun for as little as $2 a month, feel free to join in, or you can donate Cash App, PayPal, I accept both. And also, like I said before, go to the top comment, follow She Hustler Inc. and Crystal Lee Naomi's Instagram pages. I'd really appreciate it, and I know she would too. So let me know your prediction for season 2. And with that being said, I'll talk to you all in the next video.